This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
We got a big match here. It's going to be the Dudleys, Hugh Morris, Tommy Dreamer, Chuck Palumbo, and Sean O'Hare. Yeah, that is Billy Gunn. They didn't get a tight shot on him. That's the thing about this roster, sort of 2001 post invasion. There is so much talent on this roster. I mean, we talk about the rosters in 98 and 99 and 2000, but I think you could argue that 01 and 02 and perhaps even 03, those have got to be probably the biggest and best rosters in wrestling history.
Oh, definitely. We had all the talent from WCW, from ECW, from WWE. We were loaded with talent. And I think that's what they were doing this evening, is showing all the talent they had. I think they brought out a lot of wrestlers in this night in particular to show how much talent they had.
I love watching Ron Simmons. I think he's one of the more unsung heroes of professional wrestling, not just because he was, the first African-American world heavyweight champion and all that jazz, which is certainly important, but what a reputation he had behind the scenes and the respect he carried amongst his peers. Why was Ron Simmons so well respected and revered in the locker room, Kurt?
Because he was heavily feared. He was the guy that he could kick anyone's ass in the locker room. So I think everybody had a lot of respect for him for that particular reason. And he was actually a great worker. He really was. He did calm down his style a little bit when he tagged with Bradshaw. He kind of gave Bradshaw more of the limelight. And I think that's because his career was winding down. But as far as a badass, he was the biggest badass I ever met.
Speaking of badass, there's badass Billy Gunn cleaning house here. He's going to settle on Chuck Palumbo, it looks like. Palumbo is one of those guys who probably had more success than anybody would have ever imagined coming out of the power plant. Obviously, he had success in WCW, but even when he makes the transition over, where a lot of the WCW talent just wasn't long for the WWF world or way of things, Chuck Palumbo was. And man, what a maneuver by Bradshaw there. That's not something you see from a big, heavy guy like Devon to get thrown across the ring like that.
Yeah, Bradshaw was a strong guy. He had a lot of strength behind him.
Oh man, no kidding. He just scoop slammed Tommy Dreamer like he was nothing at all. He's a rather controversial figure, though. It's weird because, I read a lot of negative stuff about Bradshaw, but I've had the good fortune of meeting him several times, and I consider him a friend. He's always been such a great guy to me. But I guess the story was, if you were one of the boys and he wanted to haze you a little bit, maybe that wouldn't always go your way.
Yeah. Well, Bradshaw had a unique personality. He was pretty much the locker room bully. He would pick on the guys that weren't quite making it or were struggling. He had that way about him that he could really get on your nerves, and he wanted to.
But again, I can only speak to my experience. I met him through Bruce, and gosh, he did probably 8 live shows for us. And even to this day will occasionally text me something funny, and it's always positive. He does so much for charity. I guess there's just, nobody's all good or all bad. Nothing's really black or white. It's just shades of gray. Bradshaw's A-okay in my book.
Well, he was very professional when he needed to be. But when he was with the boys, he clowned around quite a bit. So there were two sides to Bradshaw.
Goodness, what a bump there from Spike. You want to talk about a guy who's like one of the unsung heroes. That guy that made everybody look better. I mean, obviously a smaller in stature guy, but he was not afraid to just throw himself literally into any combination of maneuvers or moves to help other guys look good. And that's really what wrestling's all about. It takes two to tango, and boy, he was like a great dance partner for a lot of guys. Was he not?
Yes, he was. He laid his body on the line for a lot of individuals, especially when he go out to wrestle pay-per-views on TVs. He really laid it on the line, and he gave up his body for everybody.
And we see Big Show trying to reach for the hot tag there. There he comes. Big pop for Big Show. People are ready for that. Is he, well, I don't know why his sort of in-ring career gets overlooked. A lot of people say it was bad booking because he was a heel and a baby face, and he changed it about as often as we change socks. But that wasn't exactly his call. Somebody else is dictating that to him and telling him, hey, this is the way life's going to be, and this is what we're doing. But I think you could argue that Big Show is one of the best big men ever in professional wrestling. He can do it all.
I think he was the best big man ever. He was an incredible athlete for his size. And he did a lot of good. He was light on his feet too. I could angle slam him. He would allow me to German suplex him. He was 500 pounds at the time. And for him to be able to give his body up like that and jump for me and make me look good, that shows what an incredible worker he was.
Gonna get the big moonsault from Bill DeMott. Hugh Morris here. Oh, nobody home.
I've done that many times.
I was gonna say that's like a Kurt Angle special. And boy, it's hard to really contextualize professional wrestling sometimes, but this silly little dance and the worm is getting the biggest reaction on the show so far. And it's almost one of those things where I get it. It's a wrestling podcast, but he's saving us money on our mortgage. Do you really trust this process? The reviews don't lie. 5-star review after 5-star review. We make it fast. We make it easy, and it's no cost or obligation. Give us a shot to earn your business. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did, especially if you like keeping more of your own money. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket. So what are you waiting for? Hurry to savewithconrad.com. See it out of context and you don't really understand professional wrestling. It's probably one of the silliest things you'd ever see, but for whatever reason, fans loved it.
Hey, it's pure entertainment. That's what the fans want. They want to be entertained, and Scotty Too Hotty did it better than anyone else.
Yeah, I was a little shocked a few years ago when WWE put Rikishi in the Hall of Fame and didn't put all of Too Cool in the Hall of Fame. A great friend of the show here, Cassio Kid, he thought Too Cool was like one of the coolest factions in wrestling history because it just brought a fun energy and mood to the whole arena. No, it's not hard hitting, badass wrestling, down and dirty brawling wrestling. But in terms of, hey, this is going to be something fun for everybody, families, kids, everybody's in a good mood, sort of like yacht rock for wrestling. Too Cool was it. And I was surprised to see that they didn't put Scotty Too Hotty and Brian Christopher in too.
Well, they were different. There's no doubt about that. They were very entertaining. It's so funny. That's what I loved about them.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.